Happy Easter, y'all. Happy Resurrection Day. Hope y'all are having a blessed and a great Sunday. Really appreciate you all tuning in to this live today. Even though it's quarantine, make sure you still count your blessings and realize how thankful and be thankful and grateful for everything that we still have in our life and appreciate what is still normal, what is still going on currently. Yeah, Sunday fun day for sure. Today we got Will joining, so it's definitely going to be a very, very great live. He's going to talk about dating, finance, all type of things. Oh, and the man of the hour just joined, so let's get it started. Round two. So if you hear that, it's coming on from my side. Oh, Perry's in here. Don't forget to hit up Perry Dante. You had a great session today, man. Blessings. Will. Yeah, I can't see you though, but all right. What's up, y'all? Okay. You want me to just cancel it and bring you back in? You already know it's Easter Sunday, man. Resurrection Day. All right. What are you guys grateful for today, man? It's Easter Sunday. There's so many things to be grateful for. Your sanity, your health, your friends, your family. Let me see. Oh, family for sure. This is so odd. I can't, but let me see if other people can see you. If you guys can see Will, can you guys just let me know in the comments? Because if that's fine, then we'll just keep going like this. So just let me know if you guys can see him. Good health of family and friends. Yes, for sure. And then while he does that, if you guys don't mind, I'll definitely say a prayer for Easter. So, dear God, thank you for blessing us today, for us to be able to have a roof over our heads, to be able to have a meal today, to be with family, to talk to family, to be able to help out those that are in need and volunteer our time. Pray for the essential workers, God. Please pray that everyone has the ability to have their mental and emotional health and to be able to be in their right mind as we continue during this quarantine and to thrive. And also want to bless everyone on this live today too. Thank you for joining in. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot. And Lord, everything is done in your name always. Amen. But today I have a lot of questions going on while Willie comes back in. I think I was saying earlier, we're going to be talking about dating and finance, right? So if you guys have any questions, hit the question thing at the bottom and type in your questions about maybe how to deal with finances with your partner or looking for someone if you're just dating and you want to talk to somebody about finance, anything in general that you guys have, or about investing, or just budgeting or just money in general, right? If that seems like such a huge task to see how do I start investing? Where do I start going? Do I need to talk to a financial advisor, a financial planner? How do I go about that? Please ask questions down there in the question box, and we will get to every single one of them. I promise you. While I'm just turning this around, it's hilarious. All right, let's try to bring him in again. Technical difficulties always. This happens to me often. Let me see. You know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm just gonna let me see what I can do with this. I might just do it from my phone because that might be the best way to do this live. So let me see. I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna end this live, guys. And I'm gonna start over again so he can come back in. Appreciate y'all. All right, y'all. So we might have to. I'm gonna see if I can pull him in one more time. But if not, if we can't, then we'll just postpone the live. But having some technical difficulties pulling him in. So we'll try it. We'll keep trying it and for a couple more times and see if it works. And then we'll go from there. But his live wasn't working, so let's try it a few more times. Can't keep us down on this beautiful Sunday, so hopefully this live works, but we know sometimes technology is not on our side, so we'll see. Okay. Appreciate y'all for joining, though. This is love, especially today on Sunday, taking time out of your day to join the live and to listen. What's up, Andrea? To all the good information we have. And Andrea was on here last week dropping gems for y'all, like mad gems. Since our IG didn't save, another technical difficulty, I couldn't upload it, but we're definitely going to have her again on our podcast. She's going to share so many tidbits with y'all. So let's see. All right. Crossing my fingers. Let's see. I don't think it's gonna cut you out at some point, Will, because it's gonna connect and it's gonna take it out. So I think you don't have another device at all. Yeah, no, you can't go to IG Lab to your computer. Because I think it's gonna kick you out after a minute, so we might just have to reschedule this live. Because I think we'll just figure out how to do it maybe another day or a different way. But it since it's gonna kick you out. Yeah, I can call you from my cell phone right now. We can do that. Hold on. All right, rocking and rolling. Hello? Hey, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. All right, cool. No, he doesn't, Andrea. Can you guys hear him? Actually, I'll have you start talking, Will. So give your background about like where you're from, where you are now, and what you do, and then I'll look at the comments and see if people can hear you clearly, and if they can't, then we'll find another way. But go ahead and get started. Okay, but can't people hear me? They can hear me? Yeah, they can hear you. I bet. In short, my name is Will Cyrus. I'm from Pompano Beach, Florida. Born and raised in Pompano Beach, Florida, same place as Kodak Black. As far as the perspective of what I do for a living, I'm a top-rated financial expert, as seen on ABC. Been in numerous news articles, 40 after 40. But my main thing is, man, my biggest passion is being able to equip minorities with the information they need to have a safe and sound retirement. Most importantly, I help good people make good decisions. Mm-hmm. So that's me in short. I love that. I love that, Will. And actually, to let you guys know how I met Will is actually we met through LinkedIn, didn't we?
Yeah, we met through LinkedIn.
And then we connected from there, talked about investing, finance, developed a relationship from there. And then he came out to Chicago, and now, yeah, he also is part of the corporate career that we work for as well. So we do similar lines of work now as well. But now you're in Dallas, right, Will?
Yeah, I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Awesome. So how did you even get into being a retirement expert, being a financial planner, being a financial advisor, right? So I put on my story, right, your testimony about like 10 years ago, and I put like your photos from then to now. So tell us, like, in a synopsis, like, about your journey and how you got into it.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I come from Pompano. I mean, really no different from Chicago, no different from New Orleans, LA. I mean, it's a small city, about 15 minutes from Miami. Miami's just right up the road, right? Same place, Trick Daddy, Trina, City Girls. Like, so this whole thing called period, that's old school, right? For us in Florida, we've been saying period since 1998. You know what I'm saying? 99 for the 2000. You feel me? So, I mean, I come down there. I grew up rough, grew up tough, grew up fast, man. I did a lot of things in my life, you know, in my younger age I wasn't too proud of. I mean, like I said, no different from any of the other kids in my neighborhood. We all grew up with, you know, single parent household, single mom, you know, making less than 20 grand a year household income. I mean, we experienced that. So I think for me, what really got me into the career path on which I am today is growing up in the streets and really just hustling since the age of 8. You know, being that kid that I had to go out and get my own school clothes. Just time I was 8, all the way till I was grown man, I've always had to depend on my own. And, you know, and I always share the story with people, right? I always tell people, man, a good drug dealer, if you're selling any product, right, whether it's cocaine, whether it's heroin, whatever the case may be, it really teaches you how to deal and be all things to all people, right? Because cocaine and heroin is a drug that you're not really selling to, you know, a whole lot of black people, right?
Right.
That's a product that only higher end people can afford. People that have, you know, rich and expensive taste, right? So it teaches you how to enunciate yourself. It teaches you how to have different level of conversation. And in doing that, you know, I was able to talk to like different lawyers, you know, different doctors, people of, you know, of affluent backgrounds. And I was able to ask questions, and they taught me about life, right? Finances, like how did you get so rich, right? What are you doing? And the common denominator was it was either something through real estate, something through day trading, or something just through, you know, investing in the right places. So I was always like a young, curious dude. Then by the time I was 17, I was day trading by the time I was 17. I had a TD Ameritrade account at 17. Built my first $1,000 and $3,000 at 18. And I just kind of built my life from there. Stopped selling drugs. You know, went to college, played football, graduated with my degree in business from the University of South Florida. Went into the corporate career, started working at Fidelity. That Fidelity started my own successful financial service practice, selling life insurance and rolling over assets under management investments. And, I just kind of catapulted from there. So that's kind of like my long story short into, like, how I got to where I am today.
So why leave, right? Why leave a business that is fast money to something that's a little bit slower?
I would say the biggest thing is being able to have connections, right? Connecting with people that you normally or typically wouldn't have otherwise, right? So I just want to make sure I'm understanding your question. Are you referring to, like, consulting, or are you just referring to general?
Just in general, like from the past, right? Like before, you said you were in other businesses, right? When you were younger, I would assume that's faster money, right? Now going into stocks and learning about more things. Now you're going into, I guess.
Man, I just understood life, and I got it. I wasn't like that typical street nigga at all. It just only thought about tomorrow. I was that individual. I always thought 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, kind of like a ghost. I could always envision a bigger and a greater life than what was presented in front of me. That was a big dream. I've always been a visionary, right? So when I was talking to these people, man, I would ask questions, dude, like, how did you get your wealth? And how are you getting your wealth? They would always say, man, real estate. They would always say, like, invest, save your money, let it grow some interest. You know, buy a car, you know, stop selling cars, flip. And for me, you know, I did if I really want to reach my potential, and I'm still growing. I haven't arrived. I'm still growing daily, right? I don't want people on here to think that I just got it all together. I'm a multi-billionaire. No, like I make pretty good for myself. I'm a high six-figure earner, but I still got a long way to go, right?
Right.
But I think for me, I just saw my stuff being bigger than just being a company store. Being that typical hood dude, Brown County, Florida. And I knew that if I put on that suit, like I could change the game. And for me, I just wanted to kind of like, you know, be all things to all people and really learn all sides and facets of life and become more cultured. And that kind of led me away from the fast money into like a more stable corporate, you know, executive career.
So how, especially in the African American community, right? Like finance is really tough. They always say that like we're behind the ball. And it's, you know, it's like a struggle for us to just budget. What would you say to people that are in that category, right? That are of the minority community that are trying to budget or invest or something like that? Like, what is somebody's first step?
I would say the biggest thing is really understanding the relationship with money and understanding like your place to be a good steward, right? I think a lot of people, like a lot of us, especially in the minority community, we really don't understand, like, for me, like, I believe in God, right? Regardless of people's religious beliefs, like, for me, what helps me to understand the importance of money is understanding that it was never mine to begin with, right? Everything in this world is God's, right? The earth is yours and the fullness thereof, right? So this money that I have, that God has entrusted me with, I need to be a good steward over this money to build a better future for my future lineage and my future legacy.
Right.
I think that if we can change the mindset from today to the future, it helps us to have a better relationship with money, right? And then we start to understand that every dollar has a purpose, right? So if I got $1,000, every one of these dollars has a purpose. There's 1,000 purposes within this money. So if you got $1 million in the bank, that's 1 million different purposes, right? So when we start to go from a renter's mindset to a owner mindset, it changes the game with how we budget, right? How we save, financial decisions we make, right? For example, like a lot of my friends, people that I know, they spend a lot of wealth. They spend a lot of their money and their income in going out to eat, right?
Right.
When you have a owner's mindset, you start to look at it and say, okay, I spent $300 last month on food. I spent $500 last month on food. If I eliminate that and actually cook, I can cut my expenses down to $150 by just buying my own groceries, right? I can add back an additional $300, $200, $400 back into my bank account, right? And I can take that money and in 2 years I can have a couple $1,000 to put my 3% down on a rental property.
Right.
So I think that when you change, the first thing is really mindset. And we as people, man, our people lack for, you know, comparison because of knowledge. I think that once we understand like how important money is and what we can actually do with it, I think it really changes things.
Got it. And now I know also. We got a question. Sorry, from Andrea. She said, "Are you securities licensed? Do you have your licenses?"
Yeah, I got my 65.
Okay. And another thing is, I know we want to talk about a lot of stuff with like dating, right? Dating and finance. So for people, I mean, this doesn't matter, like, right, what gender, what race you are, but when it comes to dating, how do you even approach like trying to talk about finances, right? What's that first conversation and when?
I mean, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. Like, for me, I believe that conversation should happen rather sooner than later. And I get it. A lot of people, you know, are it's an unpopular and it's an uncomfortable conversation, right? But for me, if not the first date, definitely before the third day or the second date, because you can eliminate a lot of stuff by just asking the right questions, right? So, for instance, like, let's just say, for instance, the vibe is right. You on your first date, y'all kicking it, y'all laughing, y'all joking, y'all like the same music. because I find out they got a 420 credit score and they ain't got no plans on fixing it, right? So, irregardless of how good those vibes is with that person, if a person has a 420 credit score, that's telling you a lot of things, right?
Right.
One thing it's telling you is that that person typically doesn't pay their bills on time.
Right.
They got, maybe they match and they charge up their credit cards. They show that they got credit card debt. That can show that, maybe they got a couple repossessions in their past. Mm-hmm. So what that tells me, regardless if people want to hear this or not, is that this person doesn't want to face the reality of what they're going through of life, right? So if you got a couple repossessions and you ain't getting nothing about it, you ain't trying to get your credit, that's telling me like you kind of got this I really don't give a your attitude. Mm-hmm. So as it pertains to our relationship, if we go through something, what you gonna do? You gonna let our relationship get repossessed too? You not gonna do nothing about it? You see what I'm saying? So, so for me, I ask those questions up front. Like, I'm not gonna necessarily say what's your credit score. I'm gonna say like, hey, what are some of your financial goals? Right? Are you looking to buy a house? Like, if so, when? Do you have any savings goals? You got to dress it up a little bit differently instead of like being harsh and mean and make that person feel like they suck because they're not saving any money at all. But just ask like really simple questions like, okay, are we equally yoked? Like we don't have to have the same amount of money in our bank, right? Mm-hmm. Our bank account. But I'm a firm believer in it's not how much you make, it's about how much you save, right? Mm-hmm. So my 5%, your 5% might be totally different, but at least you save 5%. That puts me at ease and comfort, right?
Right.
So.
And you said that would be like on like a second date, right? So pretty much it's never too early. Do you think it's ever too late to talk about finances? So what if somebody's currently dating somebody, right? And it's in like month 1 or 2, and do you think now, like, how do you bring that up, right? Or even if you're moving in with somebody, you want to know about somebody's credit score and even more, or somebody doesn't even know about finance, right? Like both people's finances are pretty much like not in the right spot. How do people address that when they have no background of finance, right? They don't even know what questions to ask.
I would say just start with just like building that rapport with that person first, right? Even me, and being a really good financial planner, like I'm able to build rapport with people real quickly, right? Mm-hmm. So in that first date, if you're not comfortable, just build rapport with them, like get their ear, be a good listener, right? Listen well, and then when that right opportunity presents itself, you might ask a question like, hey, the vibe is going real good. I'm really feeling this. Like, I would like to set up a second date. Boom, then y'all get on the phone that night, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. You ask them a question like, I want to ask you that question like, I will wait a little bit, let the vibes, continue to mix a little bit, and then as that conversation gets deeper, when we're talking about relationship type stuff, I'm gonna ask them, okay, how important is finance to you in a marriage? Mm-hmm. Do you believe that the man should control the finance? Do you believe that the woman should control the finance? How do you believe that we should raise our kids as it pertains to finance? Do you believe that, we should buy our son or our daughter our first car, their first car, right? That's an important question to ask. You can't overlook that question. Mm-hmm. You might want to ask somebody like, okay, do you believe in giving your kids all of your inheritance, right? Are you going to leave all these properties to them? Mm-hmm. Do you want to leave something to charity? Like, these are questions. I feel like if a person doesn't want to talk about something as simple as what are your financial goals, to me, I think that's a very huge red flag. Now, on the other side of that coin, right, I can understand it's like this dude or this woman got a whole lot of money, they're a whole millionaire out here, or maybe they 6 figures, and the person that they dating probably ain't got it together financially at all. And that person that doesn't have it together financially is asking them questions. I can see a little bit of, that person being like apprehensive, a little bit like, I don't know if I want to build that information on you because I want you to get to know me so I get that portion of it. But I still think it's conversation to be had at some level, right? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think it is true. I think maybe, and we got some people are like, yes, it's true. Some people say, no, that's not true. And I think it is. I think it depends on the person, right? You got to feel them out and see at what point is it time to talk about it, whether it is the second or the 10th date or the 15th date. But I guess it's whenever it's good for both people, right? Or maybe when one person feels like they're tugging more than the other, or they want to take that next step.
So, like, I guess there's good things, but like, you don't have to have on the first date, second date, or third date. But I think it should be had rather sooner than later. Because trust me, and my fact is, I see a lot of couples that have never had that conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been married 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, 10 years. And because they didn't ask those questions in the beginning, it's starting to blow up in their face, right? When that husband, right, or that wife has to have the family and credit card debt, right?
Yep.
That wife, but she doesn't understand that relationship with money, or even that husband. This goes both ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is to attack one gender over the other. It's an issue that attacks both genders, right?
Yep.
But because they didn't have those conversations early on,
mm-hmm.
Like for instance, I give you an example. I hope this person ain't on live right now. But this couple, for whatever reason, she, this is just her worldview. From her worldview, she felt like it was. She felt as though that there was nothing wrong with taking $1,000 or $2,000 out of the bank account to go shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, the husband. I give you a random example. I'm not gonna tell you how much they make. Let's just say the husband made $250 a year,
mm-hmm.
and she made $75, right?
Yep.
For some reason, in her mind, she thought that it was more important to go shopping than it was to actually build something for the family's future, right? So,
yep.
To give you another example, that same situation, she wanted to have a $125,000 wedding. She came from the hood, ain't never seen that. First of all, she never made $125,000 in her life. So to want to have a $125,000 wedding is a little couldn't you invest that money a little bit differently, right?
Right.
So it's just like a little simple stuff like that. Which is why, I'm really big on asking those questions rather sooner than later.
Yep.
There's no time frame on it. It can be 6 days. It can be the 20th day. But I feel like these are very important questions to ask because you can be dealing with a whole financial lunacy. And you may not even know until it's too late. And then they took $30,000 out of your account and went and invested to some quote-unquote business that they thought was the next best thing. That actually happened to a client of mine.
Mm.
The husband took $30,000 out of the wife's 401k without her approval.
Wow.
And invested, quote unquote, into some business.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's helping somebody, but I just feel like you gotta have these questions. These are very important conversations to have early on. Because you can avoid a lot of red flags about an individual by just knowing their relationship with money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Understandable.
Everybody don't believe in God on this life, and that's okay. But their relationship with money is that next best thing. If they have a poor relationship with money, it'll be almost impossible to expect them to have a great relationship with you.
Right. Right. Now, I have a question too, and I guess let's move back to being single, right? Because I guess with dating, you can talk about finance, but people as individuals, how would one go about even getting together with their money and investing, right? Do you think you need to go straight to a financial planner or a financial advisor to learn about your money and to start budgeting, or what's the first step for someone?
I'm sorry, what did you say? You said they go to a financial planner first?
Yeah. If someone's trying to get to know about their own money, right, just basic budgeting and expenses, should they strictly go say, hey, I want to go talk to an advisor or a planner, or should they do that on their own?
It's a lot of different ways you can go about it. I would say the first things first is to educate yourself, right? Go on the Investopedia, right? That's a really good resource to kind of type in. It's kind of like a Google for finances, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go on Investopedia and ask simple questions like about your 401k, right? About, insurance. What's the difference between whole life and term? Ask about IUL. I'm just throwing out random terms. Or ask about what is an ETF, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is a mutual fund? Ask those questions to Investopedia first, and then write down some questions from your research and go to a certified, planner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go to someone that you trust, someone that, you trust their expertise, maybe, a friend or a family has used them and they see some good results, and then start having those preliminary conversations at that point. But I always suggest that people, take some time to kind of learn something, so that when you actually speak to this financial person, you have some trust in what they're saying, right? And you kind of like check and balance what you've read and research from a quality resource, right? With their financial planning process. That's just my 2 cents.
Got it. And so if someone thinks that, like, let's say, like, you know, they want to talk to their parents because they trust their parents, or their brother or their sister or their cousin or someone in their family, do you think talking to your family about your finances is the best first place to go? Or do you think, okay, go to Investopedia and go online and then go reach out to some financial planner that they don't know? You know, 9 times out of 10, they're going to reach out to somebody they do know. So do you think it's wise for someone to talk to like a family member or someone else about that?
I mean, it depends. Like, if that family member is super successful, absolutely, I think that you should have a preliminary conversation with that person. However, you also have to understand that person isn't trained to understand how the market works, right? They don't have the licenses. They didn't study. They didn't go to school for this, right? So that's just like me saying, like, oh, well, my auntie, she's very healthy, so I don't got to go to no doctor. My auntie, she's in shape. You know, she's a vegan, and she knows everything about herbs and the earth and da-da-da. I'm just going to go to her. I don't need to go to my own doctor. Like, nah, I think you should go to the professional, the person that went to school for this and that has hours and hours of research and understanding about certain ailments, whatever the case may be. So, same thing with financing and investing. Like, you have to go to the expert. You know, you can kind of check the balances with your super rich, successful uncle, auntie, daddy, mama, whatever the case may be. But unless they have the licenses, they are trained to tell you what to do specifically for your situation. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay. And so I know during quarantine, right, you were talking about your careers. Has anything been affected during quarantine for you?
For me, like, thank God I'm in an industry where I'm in a business that's recession proof. For me, actually, like, it picked up a lot. Like all my clients and even like new clients are calling me like nonstop and constantly because, you know, maybe in their 401ks or maybe in their investment account, it went down by like 20%, 30%. And a lot of people that are on this call right now, they had anything in the market, like in a mutual fund that mirrored like the S&P 500, and their accounts probably went down by as much as 30%. Right? My account is just back up, right? So right now I'm down at about 9%, so it went up 23%.
Okay.
But what I was telling my clients is, like, to buy back in at a discount. And for those who actually listen to my advice, they bought back in at a discount, they got about 20% plus on the money that they invested.
You gotta hold on. You gotta slow up and break that down. Can you talk about buying at a discount and what that means and what that is?
So, for example, like a lot of stocks, a lot of bonds, a lot of mutual funds are at all-time lows right now, right? So when the S&P 500 went down like 30-something%, that's the best time to buy. You always want to buy low and sell high. So if I see an account that's down 30%, my first initial reaction, especially if it's a strong stock or mutual fund, right, is to put a little bit of money that I can afford to lose on that stock, right?
Yep.
Because I know that if the economy, you know, conditions itself and gets back better, that money's going to go back to the point in which it went down plus some. So, for example, my account went down 30%, but I didn't sell all my shares. Like a lot of people, they were advised by, I call it ill-advised financial gurus, to sell all those stocks and buy an IUL, which I think is ridiculous because you're going to sell something that's down to purchase something that's not going to build back up for another 15 years. All
right, and when you bring up these acronyms, Will, make sure you spell them out too.
So when I say IUL, Index Universal Life, right? So you got some financial planners out here telling people oh yeah, your account's down 30%, so you know, take all your money out and buy an Index Universal Life policy, which is the dumbest thing I ever heard because your money is down 30%, and so now you're gonna buy an account or a policy that is not gonna get back up to your breaking point for another 10 to 15 years. And how people sell it is, oh, you can have market participation without the risk. You have a 0% floor, You have to cap at 8%. But when you look at it from a financial fair aspect, I always tell clients, you don't lose until you sell, right?
Yep.
So if your money is down 30%, the moment you sell, the moment you lost 30%. So a smart investor would say, hey, I'm down 30%. That's fine. If I was putting $200 a month into this investment vehicle, let me continue to do so because it's going to go back up, especially if it's the S&P 500, right?
So let me recap kind of what you're saying right now, right? You're just telling people that if you have something currently in the market, you're losing probably right now based off the quarantine and what is going on, up to something around like 30% of your money. But since stocks are low and strong stocks that have like a very good history and they're low now, it's better to put your money in it while it's low so you can continue to invest, even if it goes a little bit lower, because if your stocks that were higher and the ones that you bought now that are lower, it's going to even out for what your return is in the short term. And even in the long term, you're going to have a lot of growth with with the stocks that you're investing in to buy low, because they're going to go back to normal at some point in time.
Precisely. And that's my point. Like I put a couple $1,000 back into the market when it went down, and I got 20% returns on that money. So if you put $10,000, you got $2,000. You just made $2,000, right?
Correct.
So I mean, I always tell people, like, if it's a strong stock, like for example, I invested into Spirit, right? Spirit Airlines.
Spirit Airlines, okay.
Spirit Airlines had a 52-week high from year to date. From today to 52 weeks ago, it was as high as $57, right?
Yep.
During the whole coronavirus pandemic, all of the airline stocks were down significantly, right?
Correct.
I bought back in the Spirit. I let Spirit go down. I said, you know what? A smart investor is going to let it go down, buy it low, and watch it rise up, right?
Correct.
I bought Spirit. I bought back in the Spirit at $7. $7.50. It rose back up to $17.80, like $17.80, and I sold it at $17.55. And I made a little over 2x of my money.
Yep, correct.
So that's just an example of buying low and selling out, right?
Yep. And if somebody doesn't know about stocks, right, or they don't want to stock pick because they don't know how to do the research or what to do, where would you tell that person to go? What would you tell that person to do? And also, after that, I want you to say, like, how much money do you need to start with to invest in stocks?
To be honest, like, you don't need a whole lot. We're all on different financial journeys. So I always tell people, invest what you can afford to lose, right? And from a retirement standpoint, I always tell people, invest anywhere between 10 to 30% of your income, right? So if you're making $100,000 a year, after taxes, you probably want to make it like 70, right? So out of that $70,000 that you got, take 10 to 30% of that. 10% will be $7,000. 30% will be about 21-ish, right? Give or take.
Correct.
So I feel like if you would take 30% of your money, you should be putting like somewhere between 10 to 30% of whatever you make. Put that away. You have to recondition, retrain your mind, and master yourself, master your mind, and say like, hey, like that money that I was using to go out to eat, that's my retirement money. That's my future money. So I'm gonna live off 70% of my money, and force myself to pay my bills off 70% of my income, and the rest of it, at 30%, is going towards my future. So when I say future, right, you always want to put yourself in a position to make a boss move later, right?
Correct.
So let's just say you've been putting away your 30% for like 5 years, right? And someone comes to you with a great business opportunity to invest into some stock company, right? I mean, some tech company, right? Or maybe someone wants you to buy into an apartment complex because you had vision and foresight, right? And you got some bands saved, maybe like 10 bands saved, 30 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands, whatever the case may be, right? You can go invest into that apartment and buy cash if you want. Or you have the capital to put up for a loan, because the loan people don't want to see that you got some capital in the bank, right?
Yep.
So they're going to ask probably for anywhere between 10 to 20% of the property, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say, like, you can go buy an apartment complex for $300,000, that's what you're selling it for, but they're only asking you for, let's just say they say 10%. 10% of $300,000 is what? Right?
Yeah.
But because you were a good financial steward, you had vision and future foresight, you were able to put that money up long before you even needed to use it, and now you can go invest into that apartment complex.
So pretty much, again, to recap, what you're saying now is, especially for your retirement, if you can save anywhere from 10 to 30% of your income, it would be great. And also, not just to save it, and right when you save it, invest it in an investment vehicle, but get knowledgeable, whether you can use a financial planner or a financial advisor to see where to put that in, or yourself, but just to have that saved up, right? So if you keep saving, let's say 20% of your income yearly, and so now you haven't even invested anything, but now you're 5 years down the line, and now you've saved $50,000, and now some quarantine happens, and the recession comes on, and now there's a time to buy a huge complex for $20,000. You have enough now, and you made that conscious choice in the past to start saving, and then also being patient to wait for the right investment to happen. Is that what you're pretty much saying?
Exactly. I need your fucking story. Let me see if I can try to request to be on your live.
Okay.
Request see if it works.
Okay. We can try to request, see if it comes in. So for everyone who just joined into the live, we had some problems with Will joining in. So we have him dialed in on the phone right now, kind of having this interview. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to still pop them in and let me know. And I'll ask, but I'm trying to also recap the conversation so you guys can hear me. And if you can't hear Will, see what's going on. We're talking about finance, investing. A little bit earlier, we were talking about dating and finance, which I know is a very tumultuous topic as well. So let's see if you can pop in. You might have to get off the phone, Will. Oh, no, here it is.
Let me see. If it don't work, I'm just going to, let's see if it works.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
I can't see you, man.
You can't see me? I can see you.
I can't see you. It just says connecting. It's like pretty much the last time.
No, I can see myself.
Yeah, but it's probably not connected on mine. It just says connecting. But we can't see you or hear you on the
Y'all can hear me?
No, not on the iPad.
Obviously, we can't see you.
Yeah.
It's probably loading.
Yeah, I think let's just continue through here, Will, because I don't think it's working. Because it's kind of the same issue that we had earlier at the beginning of the live.
All right, let me
All right, there we go. Okay, cool. So if that's the case too, right? Getting a financial planner or a financial advisor, like, so someone should start to save their money for retirement. But like, let's break down this. Let's go even further, right? So retirement, what does that mean? Does that mean like I need $1 million? Does that mean I need $50,000? Like, what does retirement mean now in 2020? And how can people prepare for that? If someone doesn't even, believe in retirement, right? They just want to make amount of money per month and live off of that, or they have that FIRE thing, right? There's a FIRE community where they're trying to retire early. Like, what advice would you give those people?
I would say the biggest thing is retirement is a real definition in terms regardless of what your goals are, right? Mm-hmm. Some people say, "Oh, I want to invest into an online company and get $50,000 a month from doing online coaching." All right, that's cool, but you still have to put some money up, put some bread up to be able to strategically invest that money into places in which it could give you a return. Mm-hmm. So retirement doesn't only mean investing to the stock market. Retirement, to me, right, this is my definition. Retirement is saving up lump sums of money or a monthly installment of money or quarterly, whatever the case may be, and strategically investing it into something or someone to get a return in a later date, period, or time. Mm-hmm. That's retirement. Mm-hmm. Right? Some people think that, or maybe if I scratch off $100 worth of scratch-off tickets or, or the lotto or the Powerball, that to be my retirement. If that's you, that's cool. But for me, retirement is investing into something, someone, whatever that might be. Putting that bread up for a later time and letting it grow some type of interest because you've invested in something or someone. So that you can have cash flow. Money comes to you at a greater return than what you invested.
Yep.
At a later date period of time. That's return.
And during quarantine, what do you think are the best type of investments, right? So you have how you spoke about stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I know we also have options. We talked about real estate, investing in small business. But during this quarantine, what do you think is the best avenue or best avenues for people to start investing in during quarantine besides themselves?
I always tell people, man, get started with an LLC because right now, for the first time in a long time, depending on the ages of the viewers on here, we didn't really experience that '08, crash, '06 crash. I experienced it a little bit. I was working, but I didn't get the fullness of it because I wasn't no 30-year-old dude, no 25-year-old dude, 20. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much 30 now, but back then I wasn't, right?
Right.
So knowing what I know, having the wealth of knowledge that I know, being an expert, I always tell people, if you own this live, get an LLC. Start building up business credit, right? Because if you had you built your business credit up when you should have, maybe like last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and if you follow me on Instagram, I've been telling y'all to get y'all LLC, start building up business credit, right? So I got 13 LLCs, right? Best believe I applied for that business grant, right? Those business loans that's coming from the government on all 13 of my things.
Yep. And so pretty much also what Will is saying, so there's, I think it's SBA, but they're giving up to $10,000 for small businesses. And he's pretty much saying he has 13 LLCs, right? So he's available to get $10,000 for each one of those 13 LLCs to apply based on that grant that's going on.
Yeah.
And do you think you need to build your personal credit first prior to getting and building your business credit?
No, you don't. The two are not synonymous. They're like antonyms. They don't go hand in hand. They both live in their own world. It's not tied to your personal credit. Your business credit, whatever decisions you make in your business has nothing to do with your personal, unless you co-meet with your funds. Now, if you co-meet with your funds, if someone sues the entity in the business, there's a way that it can fix the corporate bill and get to your personal assets. If you had a smart, strategic financial person in your life, they would tell you you an idiot, bro. Get you a business bank account and have your business bank account pay you to your personal. You know what I'm saying?
Where can people go to find like a financial planner or financial advisor? I know they can always reach out to you and DM you, and I added your Instagram handle to this live. But how can people, what's the best approach to go find a good financial planner that it aligns with their vision and that they trust to handle their money the right way?
The biggest thing is just doing your research, looking for, IG stalk these people, look at their LinkedIn, ask around, see what other people are saying about this person in that community, right? What have they done for them, right? Let's just say it's your cousin, and your cousin had $100,000, and they helped that person to grow it by X, Y, Z percent. It's like, do your research on that person. Ask questions. Interview them. Might interview at least a good two to three of them. Because when you get ready to choose a financial planner, insurance agent, whatever the case may be, you're pretty much getting into a relationship with this person.
Right.
At some point, you turn into a marriage, right?
Right.
You're going to be courting this person in the beginning, right? See if y'all are good fit. See if you agree with their philosophies, right? But at some point, you're going to be like, that's my person, that's my guy, that's my girl, whoever, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And you're going to get into a 30, 40-year relationship with this person because they're going to be your guy or girl until the day that you die.
Yep.
So,
and by the way, he's talking about your financial planner, your financial advisor, not somebody you guys are dating. Keep going, Will.
Yeah. I was just saying, treat it like, you're looking for a spouse, because this is going to be one of the most important decisions that you make in your life. Choosing that right financial person for you to guide you through your life's ups and downs, right?
Should you have to pay that person up front? Should you have to pay for a consultation to get to know that person, or research, and sit down with them, or should that be free?
It depends, right? Like I'm fee-based, so in order to speak with me, you know, I'm just like a lawyer, just like an attorney. I'm just like a doctor. Like I get paid by the hour. So if you want an hour with me, you know, it's gonna cost about $250 to $300 depending on what we're doing. 1 hour. I have billable hours, right? But if I'm creating a financial plan for you, that's a different cost, right? But as far as having an initial conversation, I do like, you know, for me, everybody's practice is different, right? So I can't speak to everybody's practice, right? Maybe someone that's new and starting out and they don't have a lot of clients, they'll be willing to do a whole bunch of free, like, but they might not have built up their business credibility to be able to charge somebody, right?
Yep, correct.
So everybody's practice is different, but I would say don't get cheap pay that person, because if that person is giving you millions of dollars of information, like you being cheap as hell by not wanting to pay $200, $300 to get some gain that can change your life in your future. Like something's wrong with you if you got this mindset, oh, I don't want to pay this person $200, $300, but so you will go on Google and continue to mess up your life and let these Google, I call it these Google financial experts tell you what to do and mess up your whole financial future because they're not speaking directly to your situation, right? Everyone's situation is unique. You can't do something based on what your cousin's doing.
Right.
Your cousin has different financial goals, right?
Right.
Your girlfriend, boyfriend,
right.
Your friends, the homegirl, everybody's situation towards what they want to be 30 and 40 years from now is going to look different, right?
Yeah. So to summarize, how would you say people can prepare then now during quarantine to start looking at their own money and furthermore to start investing?
To kind of piggyback, I say the first thing first, getting y'all some $3 million game right now. Then you'll get your LLC. You know, a lot of us quarantine, we ain't doing that. Start a business, start an LLC, $200. If you do it yourself, it's free. But you just got to pay the state fees and fines, right? Then after that, start investing on, get a Robinhood account, right? Buy you a couple stocks on Robinhood, right? You don't Robinhood stock, research these different stocks. I mean, I can't, you know, due to time, I can't really get into specific details.
Yeah.
But these are just like 3 actionable steps that I think that you could take to start, right? Get an LLC, get a Robinhood account, and try to set up a meeting with a financial planner, like someone like myself. Like, you can reach out to me via DM or send me an email, right?
Gotcha.
And set up an initial consultation, a free 30-minute consultation, right?
Yep.
But follow those first 2 steps first, right? Try to get your LLC. Get your Robinhood account that you can play around and put like $50 or $100 or whatever you can afford to lose on some stocks and see what they do, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of like my initial like actionable steps.
Got you. So I think this IG Live is about to stop in a little bit. So I want to end off by just asking you, who's like being great in your life right now, right? Like who's your inner circle, who's influencing you that you would want to shout out in your life right now that's being great and pushing you?
I would say my auntie, if it was for her, my mama, of course, too, my auntie played a real pivotal role in my life, you know, in me becoming the man I am. And if it wasn't for her, you know, doing the things she did, I wouldn't be who I am. Shout out to God. You know, of course, God is key. Like, God brought me to a lot. Brought me to a lot, right? And also, I would say my mentor has been like instrumental in my life, just really stayed in mind and exposing me to a side of blessing I did not know existed, right? I didn't understand how important it was to take cancer to city council, right? I come from the hood. I come from the project. Who typed at me? But, you know, having great mentors in my life, they taught me, like, how the world is truly ran, right?
Mm-hmm.
How to make deals, how to get stuff accomplished, you know, how to invest in real estate strategically,
Mm-hmm.
how to get $500 properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, go to the city, pay $1,000 for a property that might appraise for $60,000, right?
Right.
Like stuff like that, having a really good mentor is key. I tell anybody, you know, you gotta have somebody that's better than you and be humble enough to just sit down and soak up the game.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So I appreciate you, Will. I think we'll try to do this another time too, and try to see if I can get you back on live, and then yeah, we'll just go from there. But thank you so much for coming on, and I know all the technical difficulties working through there. But I appreciate you, and I'll save this and shoot it to you.
For sure. I appreciate you for having me.
All right. All right. Bye-bye. Appreciate y'all for staying tuned in. I'll probably bring him back on the live so we can have like a more structured conversation and we can go through like more questions and comments. But have a great Easter Sunday.